Good morning, this is the Paradise Unicorn Priestess bringing you day 248 of A Course in Miracles, the Yin translation where we use female words. This would be September 5th if you're starting at the new year. Seek not outside yourself. Seek not outside yourself, for it will fail, and you will weep each time an idol falls. Heaven cannot be found where it is not, and there can be no peace excepting there. Each idol that you worship, when God calls, will never answer in her place. There is no other answer you can substitute and find the happiness her answer brings. Seek not outside yourself, for all your pain comes simply from a futile search for what you want, insisting where it must be found. What if it is not there? Do you prefer that you be right or happy? Be you glad that you are told where happiness abides, and seek no longer elsewhere. You will fail, but it is given you to know the truth, and not to seek for it outside yourself. No one who comes here but must still have hope, some lingering illusion or some dream that there is something outside of herself that will bring happiness and peace to her. If everything is in her, this cannot be so, and therefore by her coming, she denies the truth about herself and seeks for something more than everything, as if a part of it were separated off and found where all the rest of it is not. This is the purpose she bestows upon the body, that it seek for what she lacks, and give her what would make herself complete. And thus she wanders aimlessly about, in search of something that she cannot find, believing that she is what she is not. The lingering illusion will impel her to seek out 1,000 idols, and to seek beyond them for 1,000 more. And each will fail her, all excepting one, for she will die, and does not understand the idol that she seeks is but her death. Its form appears to be outside herself, yet does she seek to kill God's child within, and prove that she is victor over her. This is the purpose every idol has, for this the role that is assigned to it, and this the role that cannot be fulfilled. Whenever you attempt to reach a goal in which the body's betterment is cast as major beneficiary, you try to bring about your death, for you believe that you can suffer lack, and lack is death. To sacrifice is to give up, and thus to be without, and to have suffered loss. And by this giving up is life renounced. Seek not outside yourself. The search implies you are not whole within, and fear to look upon your devastation, but prefer to seek outside yourself for what you are. Idols must fall, because they have no life, and what is lifeless is a sign of death. You came to die, and what would you expect but to perceive the signs of death you seek? No sadness and no suffering proclaim a message other than an idol found that represents a parody of life, which in its lifelessness is really death, conceived as real and given living form. Yet each must fail and crumble and decay, because a form of death cannot be life, and what is sacrificed cannot be whole. All idols of this world were made to keep the truth within from being known to you, and to maintain allegiance to the dream that you must find what is outside yourself to be complete and happy. It is vain to worship idols in the hope of peace. God dwells within, and your completion lies in her. No idol takes her place. Look not to idols. Do not seek outside yourself. Let us forget the purpose of the world the past has given it. For otherwise the future will be like the past, and but a series of depressing dreams, in which all idols fail you one by one, and you see death and disappointment everywhere. to change all this and open up a road of hope and of release in what appeared to be an endless circle of despair? You need but to decide you do not know the purpose of the world. You give it goals it does not have, and thus do you decide what it is for. You try to see in it a place of idols found outside yourself, with power to make complete what is within by splitting what you are between the two. You choose your dreams, for they are what you wish, perceived as if it had been given you. Your idols do what you would have them do, and have the power you ascribe to them, and you pursue them vainly in the dream, because you want their power as your own. Yet where are dreams but in a mind asleep? And can a dream succeed in making real the picture it projects outside itself? Save time, my sister, learn what time is for, and speed the end of idols in a world made sad and sick by seeing idols there. Your holy mind is altar unto God, and where she is, no idols can abide. The fear of God is but the fear of loss of idols. It is not the fear of loss of your reality. But you have made of your reality an idol, which you must protect against the light of truth. And all the world becomes the means by which this idol can be saved. Salvation thus appears to threaten life and offer death. It is not so. Salvation seeks to prove there is no death, and only life exists. The sacrifice of death is nothing lost. An idol cannot take the place of God. Let her remind you of her love for you, and do not seek to drown her voice in chants of deep despair to idols of yourself. Seek not outside your mother for your hope, for hope of happiness is not despair. For me, this text reading is a caution to not have our goal be manifestation. Manifestation will happen because the gentle waking involves the Holy Spirit by the miracle giving us a happier dream. But the dream is not the goal. The dream is not real. And in the end, the dream will disappear entirely. All form is prone to change and thus prone to death. Only formlessness is eternal. And so while the miracle will show us a happier dream, we are reminded to not have that as a goal. We are told repeatedly that it is the purpose that we see things for that makes all the difference. We are told that when we seek outside of ourselves, when we focus on the manifestations, when that is our goal, it will fail, and that we will weep each time an idol falls. A Course in Miracles, in essence, is waiting for us to have enough experience out in the world trying the game of manifestation to realize that this is true, and to give up the game, and instead seek to serve our other selves, to ease their suffering, to give them love, to wish for them the happy dream, rather than focusing on what we alone, the separate self, wants. A Course in Miracles assures us that when we seek the purpose of love, we will be cared for. We don't need to worry about that. The miracle will support us. It is all about the focus, the intent that makes all of the difference. The very act of desiring things to be a certain way outside of us belies a belief in our own vulnerability and frailty, and therefore our ability to die. And that is the worm in the apple. That is the spit in the drink. Dare I say, that is the poop in the sandwich, to use a more polite word. It is that focus, that thinking that we need the manifestation to be complete, that is the problem. The manifestations will come when our focus is aligned with love. But the moment we think that the manifestation is the goal and the desired thing, that's where things go awry. That's where we become ego-identified once again, identified with the separate self, with trying to prioritize the desires of the separate self, rather than desiring beneficence equally for the whole. It has been discussed in this podcast before that the message of A Course in Miracles is, you are wrong about everything. Be happy. This is excellent news, for the truth is so much better. And it asks the question in today's reading, would you rather be right or happy? Today's text reading says, no one who comes here but must still have hope, some lingering illusion or some dream that there is something outside of herself that will bring happiness and peace to her. This suggests that even if we came here to help, came here with the intention of helping to forgive and wake our other selves, we wouldn't be here if there were not some part of us that thought there was something we could, as the separate self, personally gain from the manifestations of the dream, the things that are generated in the dream that seem to be outside of us. There must be something there that still sparkles for us, still attracts us, in order for us to be here at all. This implies that there are those who have grown past that, who perhaps continue to help humanity from beyond the veil that covers our eyes, who are not here in the body, who do not incarnate, but still help from beyond, who answer prayers, who offer guidance, who know their oneness, even though they may still in some ways seem to be separate selves. They acknowledge and are seeking the oneness of all, the completion of all the creation, coming together and waking from the dream. Not only this, but it implies that we who are here, because something in the illusion still sparkles for us, have a precious role to play, because being here in the body means that those who are also still slaves to time can see and hear us more easily. The narrator of A Course in Miracles apparently is not in that state. So the fact that we are here and so visible and so audible to our sisters, still trapped in the illusion, is of precious worth. And so rejoice. God herself is grateful that we are here in our imperfect glory to discover the perfect truth that the imperfection is just an illusion, as we forgive absolutely everything for not existing. This text reading says, all idols of this world were made to keep the truth within from being known to you and to maintain allegiance to the dream that you must find what is outside yourself to be complete and happy. So they are made to distract us, to blind us, to keep us deaf to who and what we truly are inside, which is love. After telling us the devastating news that focusing on manifestations in the dream are always going to lead to our disappointment, we're not left in that unhappy realization and disillusionment. Here is the light it shines. It says, to change all this and open up a road of hope and of release in what appeared to be an endless circle of despair, you need but to decide you do not know the purpose of the world. You give it goals it does not have, and thus you decide what it is for. So once again, we are asked to have this open-mindedness. This was one of our very early lessons in the Course. I do not know what anything is for. Everything turned towards the purpose of love means it cannot fail. But we, as a separate self, cannot understand love. That is why we release judgment to the Holy Spirit, which does know what love is. And that is where the trust comes into play. Today's text reading also reminds us of the immateriality of dreams, and that at the heart of our fear of God, that last end boss, the biggest fear of all, the biggest obstacle to peace, is our fear of losing the dream, of losing the illusion, of losing the idols, the things that we perceive as being outside of ourselves, that we perceive as somehow making us complete, the things that will never succeed and will always fail and always break our hearts. These things that we go chasing after that will never satisfy. It is the fear of losing them that is the reason we fear love, because love would wash over all that is false. It would dissolve at its touch, and we would all be one again. Or we would wake to the fact that we've always been one, and that never ceased in eternity. The only reason for us to seek for things outside of ourselves is if this were not a dream, if this were a reality, and we really were frail and weak and vulnerable and in need of things outside of ourselves to sustain ourselves. The wisdom of the world would be the correct path if this were not a dream. Do we truly believe that this is a dream? If we do, then we believe that anything is possible. The fact that we have needs is an illusion. We are already complete, and we are here to help our other selves to waken to their own perfection, their own omnipotence, their own radiance, by reflecting to them only love. After reviewing what is the world and the answer that follows it in the show notes, we go on to lesson 248. Whatever suffers is not part of me. I have disowned the truth. Now let me be as faithful in disowning falsity. Whatever suffers is not part of me. What grieves is not myself. What is in pain is but illusion in my mind. What dies was never living in reality, and did but mock the truth about myself. Now I disown self-concepts and deceits and lies about the Holy Child of God. Now am I ready to accept her back as God created her, and as she is. Mother, my ancient love for you returns and lets me love your child again as well. Mother, I am as you created me. Now is your love remembered, and my own. Now do I understand that they are one. And that is all for today. Happy practicing.